Good morning, Facebook Live. I'm Storm Track Meteorologist Nate Harrington. We did this yesterday, a little tropical update for you. Had a lot of questions, a lot of traffic on our website about the tropics yesterday, and I wanted to reiterate what we talked about because we still have a lot of questions. Even though we trying to put out all that information, we still have a lot of questions about, Labor Day weekend. Is this going to impact football games? So let's clear this up for you. And you can always answer or ask questions, and I'll try to answer those throughout this Facebook Live. Or if you're watching this recorded and you're watching it a little bit later, you can always ask questions. We'll try to get to those a little bit later in the day. So let's start off with, this is Tropical Depression number 9. This is what we're focusing on. There's a little disturbance up near North Carolina you probably heard about, but this is what we are focused on. And as it's gotten into the Gulf of Mexico, into the very warm water, it started to blow up a little bit. But the center of circulation, the kind of the heart of the storm, it's nowhere near any of this blow up. It's kind of just off to the east and northeast side of it. So we really want to see, with a developing tropical system, we want to see the center of this in the middle of that really dense overcast. We're just not seeing that just yet. The reasons why, we've got a lot of upper level winds that are shearing the top of this system apart. So it's hard for this to develop if you've got a lot of wind working against it. It needs very neutral winds up above the surface, and it also needs a lot of that warm water. We've got one of those ingredients, we just don't have the other. And as it continues to move into the Gulf of Mexico, we're not really expecting it to strengthen too much, and a lot's been made about the track of the storm, where exactly it's going, and we'll get to that later. Really feel sorry for the folks in West Cuba, because they have dealt with a ton of heavy rainfall, and if we loop this for about 24 hours, this has been all that they've seen for the last day and a half or so. Just heavy, heavy rain near Havana and western Cuba. Yes?
Will North Alabama get any rain from this?
I will explain that later. So we will get to that in just 1 second. So this is where the rain is right now, and this is where Tropical Depression number 9 is most likely going to be going. Winds of 35 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 7. It's going to kind of take a northerly track and then start to recurve into Florida. By Wednesday morning, we should see this recurve start. And then by Thursday midday, it should hit somewhere in the Florida Big Bend region. Most likely east of Tallahassee and just to the south and west of Jacksonville. And then it moves into the Atlantic where it starts to strengthen. And this could be a problem for folks in the Carolinas, especially the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So, you asked me if we're going to get any rain out of this. Well, here are the rainfall predictions through Friday. You see a ton of rain where the storm is about to hit. Folks in North Florida, Northwest Florida, near Jacksonville, anywhere from 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 to 7 inches of rain in the Florida Peninsula. However, you go up to central Alabama, near Birmingham, and it's just going to be a nice weekend. We might see some showers around for the next several days, but they have nothing to do with this storm. And for the weekend, we've got folks going to the beach. I had a ton of people ask me yesterday, well, I'm going down to Panama City, or I'm going down to Destin, or I'm going down to Orange Beach or Mobile. What's it going to be like down there? I don't know if it could get any more perfect down there for this weekend, and it seems a little bit counterintuitive, but once a storm, and I'll go back and show you what I mean. Once a storm heads to the east of you, okay? So we've got this storm churning, all right, and it has counterclockwise winds around it. And it's also sucking up a bunch of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, which would normally be coming to us. So if you get a storm that comes this way, the whole flow of the atmosphere is working around here. So what we have are basically northerly or northeasterly winds. That means very dry weather, very tranquil weather for us in central Alabama, and also down near the coast as well. So temperatures are going to be cooler this weekend. It's not going to be a big cool down, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're talking about temperatures in the upper 80s and mid 80s, and the humidity is going to go bye-bye. Not a whole lot of humidity for us. That is going to be so nice, a nice little break from what we've had. And I don't want to call it typical September weather, but that's kind of a little taste of what we're going to see during the early fall months, because fall is just about 24 days away. So it's going to be pretty nice this weekend. Folks along the Carolina coast, probably not so much, but all that's going to be out of our hair. We won't see any impacts, but we just wanted to do this Facebook Live and answer some questions and reiterate the fact that if anybody didn't see this yesterday, that we're going to have a pretty nice weekend. Everything should be good. Not a whole lot of change in our forecast because of this until we get to the weekend, where it actually will change much more for the better. So we're looking forward to this storm not hitting us and getting away from us, even though we could use some rain, but could also use a little bit of break from the heat. So did anybody have any more questions about what's going on? I also did want to show this after the rainfall. Not really going to see too much flooding out of this. I think folks in North Florida actually need some rain. Folks in South Florida have gotten plenty, but North Florida, you've been a little bit of rain starved. And real quick, this is the wind forecast. The yellow indicates tropical depression, force winds 35, 40 miles per hour. And this little orange spot represents tropical storm force winds. You can see by Thursday afternoon, it's in North Florida, and then moving near Jacksonville by Thursday night, and then out of everybody's hair, or at least Florida's hair, by the time we get to early Friday morning. Yes?
Janice would like to know, what about next week at Orange Beach?
Next week at Orange Beach, I don't know yet. Anything past about 4 or 5 days for us is normally kind of iffy. Even though we put out a 7-day forecast, we try to get as accurate as possible, but I can't tell you what it's going to be like next week at Orange Beach. I'm sorry. But anything after probably this weekend should be more like typical summertime weather. Temperatures in the 90s. It's the beach. Shouldn't be too bad. We're not expecting anything coming through the Gulf at that point. But if it changes, we'll let you know. So, all right. Well, that's it. We'll be watching. This is not Tropical Storm Colin, by the way. If it gets named, it'll be Tropical Storm Hermine, Hermine, and we'll continue to watch the tropics for you guys. Have a good one.